Hello, 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 hello. Welcome again to Auntie Lizzie's Corner. You are welcome. Today, I want us to talk about the best way to buy a car. This month, I have been helping a friend get a car, and I just thought it would be a good idea to share this knowledge with you all so that it will be a blessing to someone who is interested in buying a car by saving some money. It's all about how we can save money and be able to help others and make this world a better place. There are three ways of buying a car, at least in the US that I know of. There might be other ways, but I know of only three, okay? And one is buying it with cash. We are going to look at the three that I'm going to talk about, the advantages and disadvantages of doing it that way. First one is buying the car cash. So there is a saying that if you go buy a new car at a dealership and you drive it out of the lot, you already lost some value. If the car is $30,000 and you drove it out of the lot, the next 5 minutes, or maybe more than 5 minutes, I would say, but you have already lost about $5,000. When you bring the car back, it's not going to be the same amount. And this I have experienced personally, where I got a car for rental which wasn't going on well, and it was within a short period of time, and I wanted to return the car back, and guess what, it was like $20,000 less. So I kept the car because I wasn't ready to lose that. So if you buy the car cash, you have to know that in 5 minutes or in a few minutes, few hours, few days time, that car will not be the same amount as you bought it. So that is the disadvantage. The advantage is that you do not have a car payment. It is difficult to make car payments and it's a pain. But you have this car all to yourself with no one involved, no third party to pay or make payments to. And that is very nice and awesome. But the question also is, that money that you put down for cash, could that money be invested into something else instead of you losing that money after you drove it from the parking lot? So those are some of the things you have to consider when you are going to buy the car cash. The next way of buying a car is by financing, and we all know that these days interest rate is going so high, and car payments. My first car interest when I came to the United States was like 1.9, and now that is like a history. Now when you want to buy a car, it's ranging between 6% to all the way to 11% depending on what bank institution you go to. So when you want to finance the car, the question is, do you have some money that you want to put down as down payment? Personally, I do not like putting money down as down payment towards a car, because I noticed that the down payments goes to the dealership with all this fee that they put about, sales fee, this fee, that fee, and I have noticed that when they make the calculation and I pay towards the principal, I'm able to save interest and I'm able to save more money that way. What I mean is that if you have $2,000 to put down on a car that is $30,000, right? I tell the dealership I have no money to put down. So then I have that $2,000. They do all their calculation and then give me monthly payments, maybe for 36 months. That's 3 years. So what I do is that $2,000 I have, I pay it towards the principal so that I can pay less interest. Just check and see if that will work for you. That has worked for me several times, where I don't put any money down. Of course, you have to make sure your credit score is also in a good place, so you'll be able to do that. What are some of the advantages of the financing? You need a car right now, you have a good credit, you go to the bank, your needs are being met. That is the advantage. You don't have to have the money. Like I said, you don't even have to have the down payment before you do that. But what is the the disadvantage. The disadvantage is that you are owing someone, and it can be a pain again in paying this money. But then the advantage of this model or way is that you are financing, and basically the car is like yours. It's just like you bought a cash. You can do anything with it. I just recently wrapped my car for my cleaning business, but that car wasn't bought cash. Of course, it's finance, but it's mine, so I can do anything to it so far as you are making the payment, right? So that is one of the things. But with the financing, you have to just make sure your interest rate is fixed and it doesn't change, but you have to be paying for a while. And to use that method, I want you to also consider the reselling of the car. So when you are financing the car, thinking about the interest and also thinking about the reselling of the car. Those are some of the things that make such a difference. So when you look at reselling of the car, there are some cars like Kia. I've ever had Kia before. When it was time to resell it, I barely made any money out of it. It did not even finish paying how much I owe the bank. It was left with about 2,500 on it. So I had to carry that on my shoulder. But at the same time, I had resold my Toyota before, and it gave me some value. I got some money out of it, even though I was done paying the bank. So that money became mine. That is kind of like a little profit to say. So it is very important to also look at the reselling of the car. If you are financing the car with the bank, consider what type of car you are financing as well. Surprisingly, I was shocked about BMW. I thought their value stay up all the time, but that's not true. You drive it out of the parking lot and you lose a lot of money. So if you are renting one, I don't think it's advisable to do BMW with that, considering the resale. It goes down pretty quick. The last way I want to talk about is leasing a car. Yes, the first time I heard this was with a co-worker a few years ago. So in this situation, the car is not yours. You are basically like lending or borrowing the car to drive, and you pay for it every month. The advantage is that you don't have to worry about the reselling. You don't care how much it will be sold for, right? You are just driving it. But there are some rules and regulations that you have to also look at. And one of them is the place that you have to even maintain the car. You cannot just take the car to any mechanic at all. They have specific rules and regulations. Even the mileage you can drive for the month or for the period that you have the car for. So that is actually kind of limited a little bit. But if you don't care and you feel like you want to change your car every 2-3 weeks, then leasing the car will be the great option for you. If you have to buy a car, don't just go to one place. There is also kellybook.com where you can go check out and see how much your car is worth before you buy it. Twice I have made that mistake. Go home and realize that the price of the car was higher than what it is. Don't make that same mistake. Look into it first and then look around. Don't go to only one place. There are some places that they will even match the price for you. When you tell them I went to CarMax and it was 18,000 and you are able to show them, they are able to match it for you. And when you are reselling your car, make sure you get the maximum money for it. Thank you so much again for joining. Until then, don't just get out there and buy a car. And before I go, if you want to buy a used car, see if you can find a mechanic to check it out for you. Don't be like me, buying 1989 car when I first came into the US, and then you push on the gas and it doesn't even go. And I bought it by a house. It was packed over there. I went back to complain. The oil was dripping all over the apartment floor, and I took it back, and the owner said, I don't know who you are talking about. Maybe the person just parked the car there to sell. Don't be a victim. Go to the right place. Use the right people who know to get you into a good car. Until then, I'll see you again. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Share, and let's make money together. Have a good one. Be blessed.